Hey everybody, Strider here. I'm just going to show off really quick kind of a HAL clone type thing that I've done for Elite Dangerous. It's just a voice attack profile along with a bunch of other little toys to make it more interesting. I found I needed it when I was doing some exploring to be able to make it through and keep my sanity while I was playing. It was fun to develop it and design it and all that kind of thing while I was out kind of exploring and poking around at the planets. So what it is a voice attack profile, and what you see on the screen is let's go ahead and get going to the next planet. So we're actually doing something while we talk here. Engage. So while this is jumping here, on the right hand side of the screen, starting from the very top right, it says HAL Online. That's just text, and that's in a Rainmeter overlay. I'll put a link to Rainmeter in the description below. You have to run this in windowless borderless window mode in the Elite Dangerous options in order for that to actually be able to display over the top. You can't run it in full screen, it won't show up. Just below that you have it's the captain's log. It just says ready right now, it's just completely empty. And if I wanted to say make a captain's log, I would just say the command, and then he will record what I say to the best he can, because it's using Windows speech recognition. You know, do the best you can. I'll stop. And I'm just going to keep kind of doing some of the commands as I go, just so you can see kind of how it works, because I'm sure I'll forget some of the stuff that I put in here. But yeah, so captain's log is there in the upper right. I would say something like, well, first of all, target that. Sometimes it doesn't work. Target that. Sometimes he's not listening at all. But you would say something like, captain's log. And then you would wait for a response, and it's recording right now. It started the dictation mode in voice attack, and it's going to do its best it can, but it's not the greatest, because it's only going based on how well your computer is trained. And then I would say, end log. Save the log. Sometimes I forget my own commands. And you can see it's listed up there. And you can see there's also some bugs. I obviously would never log something that long, and it's wrapping automatically in Rainmeter. There's some configuration things you could do to make sure that fit and stayed into that box right there in the upper right, but I don't generally use it for stuff that lasts that long, or that long a text, so it's not usually a problem. So let's just go ahead and erase that. Computer erase captain's log. And I've got a few beeps, random beeps and warbles and whatnot that going on in the background. Just below that you see autopilot and a bunch of other little stats. The autopilot will only go on programmatically through voice attack. When I have certain routines running, it will turn it on. It's just an indicator saying that Hal's got control and he's going to take it from there. And let's go ahead and look at the system here and see if there's anything worthwhile to look at. It's already been all explored. Hello, Meatless. Hello, Meatless. Hello, Cooper Harland. Say hello to all of your fellow explorers out here. I think I might bookmark this system, so let's go ahead and head out to that one. I like to bookmark the systems and just say that, you know, I was here type deal. So let's go ahead and slowly cruise out to that while we're talking here. Alright, so you have the autopilot, it goes on programmatically. Below that you have a jump count, and that is only going to fire off and add to that variable when I use the command to jump to the next system. Below that is a dock position. That's kind of an experimental thing that I was doing. I was trying to make it so that you could launch automatically from the inside of a dock automatically, and you can do it. I know it can be done. There's some timings that would have to be adjusted. You're basically either to the left, the center, or the right of the dock as you're leaving. So when I would set that dock position, it would tell HAL which location I'm at in the bay, and then he would know how to proceed from there. So it can be done. There's a little bit of quirks, and it would take a little bit more programming and timing and stuff like that. So and that's really the only thing left that I have to do. HAL does the rest, so I kind of don't mind actually just taking off out of the bay myself. Below that you have the lights, and that's just an indicator of when the lights are on or off. Turn the lights on. You can see the indicator will refresh and go to on there, and turn the lights off. Those variables there are being handled through a text file, so when I do a voice attack command, it's writing just the single word on or off to that file, and then Rainmeter's displaying that on a refresh. If you had specific questions about that, if you watch this and you have specific questions, just let me know. I'll answer them the best I can. Below that, you have Mission 1 and Mission 2, and those are just reminders kind of for me, because I have, let's go ahead and look in my, while this is scanning here. Look on my Galaxy, the map here, I've got bookmarks here. I've got that display screen in the way. I'll get rid of that in a second. But you see Mission 1 and Mission 2 here. Long Year Survey, Hadwell Orbital. Those bookmarks stay in that location on my bookmark list at all times because they're handled through some voice attack macros. So when I say go to, say, Mission 1 or Mission 2 via HAL, he'll automatically open up the Galaxy map, click on the right spots, and plot my route there. So those stay there at all times. But those Mission 1, Mission 2 on the right there are only, they're just indicators of reminders. So those are just text files as well. The voice comms was it's basically a toggle for my, let's go ahead and jump to the next system here. Resume course. Resume course.
Course locked in, Captain.
I think I have my microphone turned down, so he's not registering as he normally would. Engage. You'll see the jump count and jump up there, and he'll go to full impulse, and then he will engage and jump to the next system. Voice comms would just let me know when I have a command to lock my voice communication through Discord to on at all times, and that just lets me know whether it's on or off. Below that, you see a command log, and that is basically just a log of what's going into voice attack. So there's a lot of stuff there right now because it initialized when I first turned it on. Let's go ahead and clean that up so that we can kind of see what's going on. I'm scanning while I go here. I'm trying to multitask. Let's go ahead and stop and refuel here and scan. I'm out in the middle of nowhere, just kind of trying to get to elite on my exploration. I'm almost there. All right. Well, I'm not going to be able to do that while you can't see the screen at all there while I'm facing this star. So we'll fill up, scan, and then we'll move out. But below that is the command log, and all it is doing is logging all of the commands that I've made and I've directed toward HAL. It will not log stuff that I have done with the keyboard aside from HAL, outside of HAL. So it's only logging that. So let's go ahead and clear that. Computer erase command log. Computer erase command log. There we go, and now it's erased. And what it's going to do from now on is every command that I send to HAL, it will log it in whatever notation that I decided to set in voice attack at the time. It's like this system. See if there's anything. Nothing at all. Hello, Lennon. Good to meet you. I visited your star. Good times. There's nothing here, man. You need to set up shop and build like a concession stand or something. All right. So now, as you'll see, we're going to jump to the next system. You'll see in the lower right there, it will show some stuff down there. Engage.
Engage.
See, it just shows warp, just because that's what I wanted to show in the log. You could really show anything you want. Directly after that, you'll see the number, and that's just a number of commands. It just counts them up. So when it gets to a certain count, it will reset that log screen for me, so I don't have to keep telling it to erase over and over and over again. I think I have it set to 10 right now, so whenever it gets to 10 commands, it'll automatically erase that and clear it up. Right, and all of this stuff it's essentially useless, but it's just kind of fun to play with. And there are a lot of mods out there that you can get for Elite, and there's a lot of people that have made some clever APIs and stuff for this that show you a lot more data. Personally, I just liked creating it myself, and it was the creation of putting this stuff where I wanted it that was the fun part. It wasn't, I don't really need the data, because you can find the data for commodities and all that whatnot already. It's not that difficult to find, so it was mainly just creating this setup that was the fun part. So in the upper left, that video screen that's been in our way a little bit the whole time, that right now is just showing a Kerbal Space Program video that I'd done a long time ago. But that is run through a program called OnTopReplica. Cool little program, and you can resize and set the opacity and choose whatever window is up, or choose what window to display there. I normally will watch Netflix on that screen while I'm deep in deep space exploring. Speaking of which, let's see if there's anything here. Nope. Hello, Theowold and Salag, however you say that. Good to meet you, bro. So yeah, that screen will usually display my Netflix, and then I do have commands to mute it and all that. That is a screen that is in the background that is up, fully maximized. Otherwise, OnTopReplica won't show it. It's only going to show active, well, windows that are up and actually maximized. It's behind this window, but it's up and maximized. Same with if you wanted another OnTopReplica window, you just have all those windows open in the background, maximized. You just have Elite on top of all that. Alright, so that is how, in a nutshell, he will auto-dock. I have a command to, let's say I am dropping out into a station. The very second it says safe to disengage, I give it a command, and then from there, he will go ahead and drop out, and then he will boost toward the station, and then auto-dock, he'll request docking, and then he will, the auto-docker will take over. He'll drop throttle to 0, and then auto-dock will take over. He'll land for me, which is great because when I get to a safe disengage location, I can just tell him to go ahead, and then I go get myself a coffee. I go, go to the bathroom, whatever I need to do, and I come back and he's safely docked as long as the auto-docker didn't mess up. So that's a lot of fun. And now I do have probably 3,000 or so random voice automations, I don't know what the word, voice files, sound files that HAL has, and they're all randomized. So whenever I play a sound in this, HAL never is just a direct command. I didn't want something that would be like, okay, I turned the lights on, direct like that. I wanted it completely randomized because it felt more real. So there's no command in the entire thing that is that simple. It's all very randomized. Let's go ahead and jump because there's nothing here. Engage. We'll jump to the next system. I probably should have been next to a dock to show you some more of the other stuff that I have, but this is also very useful if you wanted to have combat commands. It's very useful because you can launch fighters and all that kind of thing while you're fighting with voice rather than having to navigate through the menus yourself. I think it would be great with VR and that kind of thing, because you wouldn't have to look at all those menus and stuff. You could just give the voice command and bam, he's launched and he's in attack mode and and whatever else you need him to do.
Fuel scooping.
Let's see what else is here at this system, huh? I'll stop.
Minimum
Fuel
speed.
scoop disengaged.
So I have put a lot of stuff in here that was totally unnecessary. For example, I could say something like, teach me HAL.
Uranus is the seventh planet from the Sun. While being visible to the naked eye, it was not recognized as a planet due to its dimness.
And I've read a bunch of stuff in there. He's going to keep going about Uranus here, but he's telling me all about it. But I have put in a bunch of stuff about the planets and what not in there. He will say a bunch of stuff if I wanted him to continue and teach me all about the universe and stuff. Hello, Theowold. Hey, I've seen that name before.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scoop disengaged.
And there's other kinds of stuff. I had a computer. I experimented with putting a dictionary in here so that if I wanted to, let's say, learn a random word out of nowhere, I could tell the computer to give me the dictionary. Unfortunately, the dictionaries are just too large, and it's kind of I found it to be unnecessary. And when I set out to make this thing, I did not want to do something that was just cosmetic. I wanted something that would actually help me. So that, like, if my hands are full and I'm busy, or if a kid's bothering me, or if my wife's talking to me, so that kind of thing, I could give a useful command. I didn't want a bunch of extra nonsense just for theatrics type deal. I wanted it to be actually useful. So, for example, if I wanted to go to a certain dock and I don't remember exactly how to plot it, I don't want to mess with the map, I don't, none of that kind of thing, I could just tell him, plot to that location, click, 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 bang, he's there, he's plotted it, and then we're ready to go. Engage.
Full power.
And you'll notice that I don't have a push to talk for voice attack. I leave it on at all times. For some reason, A lot of people have had problems with it, I guess, because they don't have their computer trained that well to their voice. Voice attack works terrific for me, and it's partially because the voice attack commands that I have chosen to use are words that I would almost never use in regular conversation. That's very important when you're designing your voice attack profile, to use words that you're not going to just randomly be saying, because then obviously you're going to fire off a command when you don't want to. So if you're interested in a follow-on video where I actually will show you how to do some of this stuff, let me know. I'm not a big YouTuber. I don't have a lot of fanfare, as it were, so it doesn't really matter to me. I won't do one if it's not requested, but if someone does request one, I'll show you exactly how I've made a lot of commands, and I do actually have some cool ones too that I haven't even brought up. I have a playlist in the background, and what it is, it's a link to Sidewinder Radio, and it will pull that up, and I have VLC running in a minimized invisible style type mode through VLC. So whenever I say, this might get loud, so plug your ears, everybody. This might get loud because I don't know what the volume is like, but I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on in just a second. Sidewinder Radio. That's what the command is. See, I have so many commands that I've forgotten some of the commands, and I actually thought about making a command to show me all the commands. Ooh, unexplored. Hey, Theowald, I'm about to be your friend over here. I'm about to be planet star buddies with you. Here we go. Probably 300 million light years out. Oh, it's not that bad. Let's go ahead and cruise toward that while I wrap this up. So yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff that I put on here. Now I've actually added commands since they have the Galnet news audio here on the forescreen. I've added commands to run that off. They were nice enough to put keyboard shortcuts for that as well, so I can, run the news whenever I need to listen to that. 0 merits for Zachary Hudson. I'm failing miserably. Sorry, everybody, because I'm out in the middle of nowhere. So yeah, if you're making your own voice attack profile, and you can see over there on the right, we're on command number 6, computer erase command log. I don't know why I erased that other than the fact that I like it. What was I saying? I don't even know. This is what happens when I'm out in the middle of space looking at stars over and over and over again. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do if you decide to make your own profile for voice attack and you want to make your own commands and you enjoy that process. I'd be more than willing to help you out if there's anything that I can do to help you out with conditional loops, setting up variables, specific ways that I've done commands and stuff like that. By all means, let me know. It's not a problem. I work at home, so I'm almost always in front of the screen. Just hit me up with a comment or whatever, and I'll do the best I can. I'm not a genius programmer or anything, but I might be able to figure something out. You never know. So this is probably long enough of a video. If there's some specific part of this that you wanted to see more of, just let me know. There's all kinds of other commands that I didn't show you. I didn't want to do a very completely exhaustive list of commands and just go through them one by one, because that would take forever. There's probably about 300 commands I have in this thing now, and there's a lot of stuff. So with that, take a bow, Hal. Thank you, Hal.
You are welcome.
And he will respond. Let's say I said thank you a bunch of times in a row. He will say something different every time, like I was saying. Thank you, Hal.
Not a problem.
And it was very important to me to have that randomization. So for each response, such as saying thank you to him, there's probably 20 or 30 different responses. And throughout the course of playing, since you don't say thank you, Hal, that often, it's not going to. It's almost going to feel like he's real, because you're not going to hear that same command very often at all. Because you got to think, every once in a while you say thank you, and then once you've done that, it's randomized. So the odds that you're going to hear the same thing again are pretty rare. Anyway, I'm rambling now, but if there's any part of this that you are confused about or you want to know more about, just let me know, and I will go into detail on that. I will put links in the description for Rainmeter, OnTopReplica, and Voice Attack. I think that is the only programs I've used. What I have done with Discord in the background too is I've had a OnTopReplica screen showing. Oh no, I've got Guild Wars on my view screen there. I've had my OnTopReplica screen showing the icon on Discord saying when I was speaking, or who was in Discord, who was talking, that kind of thing. You could do that as well. You could show any part of your screen. So if you're making your own, don't let it be just about voice attack. Voice attack is awesome and powerful, but think about all of the shortcuts that you can do on your entire computer, and the world's your oyster. You could have it do pretty much anything you want it to do. There's probably a way to do it. I mean, you could literally use voice attack to make coffee if you really wanted to. If you wanted to do that, that sounds like a great project that I would love to do at this point, but I probably don't have time for that. Anyway, like, subscribe, all that YouTubey stuff. Like I said, I'm not a YouTube guy really. I just like to help if I can, if anybody's interested. I've noticed that there is not a whole lot of voice attack support as far as commands. There's a few videos that are 3 or 4 years old, and those are good, but they're old, and yeah. Anyway, rambling over. You guys have a good day. I'm gonna keep on joining the ranks of the explorers out here in the middle of nowhere, and I will catch you guys later. Goodbye.